has got its nature, cow has got its nature, as I've already told. All living things have their own nature. It is a botanic, all the jivans. So, very good. Sir, come on, brother.
So what we want to understand is that we are made from matter. Our body, mind, complex. Our body, mind, and the world which we are interacting with this body, mind is a matter. Whenever it is made up of some material, it is anatma. And it will have its own limitation. What we are trying to tell about prakriti, even though it is so wonderful, it is vast, but it has its limitation. It has a beginning and end. But if you go beyond this, we have to go beyond this body mind. That's what the whole idea is. Atma, Anatma, Viveka. The discrimination is called Atma, Anatma. Anatma means anything which is made up of matter, which has existence because of the original consciousness. So each matter will have a different composition of the 5 Pancha Mahabhutas. You know all that. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. So as you go from space, it is more sattvic, and as you go to the earth, it is more tamasic. Means sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Depending upon this prakriti, we will again be divided into sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. And depending upon how we nurture from childhood, how the environment around us, how this body-mind complex interact with the world, how opportunities we take or we leave, all this also will make you from a tamasic to sattvic or vice versa. So even a jnani who has a body and mind, we think mind can be sattvic always. No, mind also is jadam. Anything which is matter is jadam. So we say jada buddhi. He is like not understanding. So jnani has all the 5 elements, but he interacts with this element in a way it will help others. So an active jnani will make full use of this, whatever he has, to distribute it in a good way. A passive jnani knows that he has to first make himself completely away from the world. First, he has to understand, and some people, even though they're passive, they can do miracles. We have seen in Karur only we have Sadashiva Brahmandra, a beautiful saint we all know, I think, and he used to do so many miracles. He doesn't have to be very active. So jnanis also can be having prakriti, and depending upon their gunas, they can equally show it. But all boils down to us. Finally, I take all the verses as a teaching for me. So my prakriti is, after some age, we should know. And once you know this body and mind is limited, I have 100 years maximum or 80 years. And how I will make use of this? So knowing your prakriti, knowing your body, mind will help to know your Atma. Because which is always hidden. Because we make a big body-mind complex. Anyone says, you know, this is very common. When I go to the club here, I go in normal dress. Sometimes a new sister, new stuff. In fact, the last day, our the liftman, he saluted everyone and then he turns me, who are you? So that question is actually, who are you from Ramana Maharshi? So, Nyan, yeah, R. So who am I is more important than someone you reply, don't you know who am I? So the body-mind complex will always play a significant role on your ego. It will bloat your ego. So know your prakriti. Because even jnani has a prakriti, he understands, he matures out of the body-mind complex and always anchors himself to the Atma part, and he always sees all this reflection of Paramatma. So that's why he controls himself. That's what the meaning of this verse. I hope. You have explained very well, sir, but I just wanted to. And about the confusion about before Varna Ashrama, Please don't get confused. It is very simple. The sattvic nature is more in a Brahmana because he's always a giver. Real Brahmana never asks Dakshina. Nowadays, it is all fixed. For pre-marriage wedding, this, how much, marriage, this, after marriage puja, all is fixed. But that is because even the Kshatriyas that time, or Vaishyas, they used to give in bundles of money to do good puja. Nowadays, even though you have money, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas will say they bargain for the pujas also. So that's why the Brahmanas also have become like that. So anyone who has sattvic nature more, he is a Brahmana. Anyone has a very tamasic nature, always lazy, he becomes a Shudra. So there is no one nature in any one of us. We are all mixture. We have seen SRT in 17th chapter, Shraddha Vibhava Yoga, but 16th we will do. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamas is important for all of us. Early morning, we are tamasic, or whole night we are sleeping. Then we start the day with the sunrise, we warm up, we do our activities, we become Rajasic. And when you are doing, for example, some eating or doing some reading, children are studying, it is Sattvic. So all these three things are essential for us. And if we can elevate ourselves by sleeping less, working out more, contributing more, we become Brahmans. Okay.
इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्याते
इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यास्ते
रागद्वेषौ व्यावस्थितौ
रागद्वेषौ व्यावस्थितौ
तयोर्नवशमागच्छेत्
तयोर्नवशमागच्छेत्
सौख्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ
सौख्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ.
Likes and dislikes are bound to exist with regard to the object of every sense organ. One should not come under their control because they are his enemies. So the last verse ended with this Nigraha Kim Karishyat. The best example will be onions. You take an onion and leave that onion in the middle of the perfumes, world's best perfumes. And then after an hour, take the onion and cut the onion. Will the onion will have the smell of the perfumes or the onion its own smell? That's how our Svabhava is. Svabhava cannot be controlled, and trying to control the Svabhava is futile. And next is even the gods, they have their own likes and dislikes, not the human beings as. Because Saraswati, she's a goddess, she can wear any color sari. But why is she wearing white? Because she likes white. And she's having a veena in her hand because she likes the instrument veena. So it is like even the gods, they have their own likes and dislikes. Now the next best example will be a classroom filled with children and filled with toys. What will the children do? Children will naturally get attracted towards the toys they like. And they'll form a group where all the children who are with the same likes will be together and they'll be playing together. That's how we are also in our daily lives, where most of our friends around us is according to our likes and dislikes. So your Svabhava always determines your raga and dvesha, that is your likes and dislikes. And we always define a person and see a person with his likes and dislikes. And the next thing, now, because of your Svabhava, your thought arises. So, does the free will place? Yes, we can use our free will. So, first thought, when it arises, it is because of your Svabhava. All your thoughts, whatever happens right in front of your eyes, that thought, the first thought that arises is because of your nature, prakriti Svabhava. So, then what happens? You encourage that thought, you nourish the thought. That thought grows into a beautiful tree with lots of emotions. So what you have to do, nip the thought in the bud. That is the first rule, first free will we can follow. We can use our mind, use our discrimination and see if the second thought is necessary and then nip it in the bud. Then comes the rule number 2. It is like an iceberg. See, the iceberg we see in the ocean is just the smaller part of it. The rest of it is inside, deep inside the ocean is not known or seen by any of us. So our thoughts are like that. So something happens right in front of your eyes, and you use an inappropriate words that does not happen instantly. That is because of the thoughts that is being layered and nourished by you for so long that comes out as crystallizes into words and harsh, and it is very harsh. So by first, can we control it by our free will? Yes, we can. So when the first thought arises because of Svabhava, and your second thought can be controlled because of your free will, and naturally your words are also controlled. Now, the rule number 3. So this best example is fire. You go for a camp in a forest where you have a fire and there is no wind. It will be very beautiful and the fire will burn out on its own. But in case if the weather is not good and the wind is so strong, what happens? The whole forest gets caught in the fire and there will be a forest fire. The same way, when you don't control your second thought, that crystallizes into words and that becomes the most grossest thing, that is the action. So action is the grossest thing of your subtlest thought. So when the first thought arrives, that is because of your Svabhava, which cannot be controlled. But the second thought, yes, with your free will you can. And when you control that, naturally you control your words and your action. And now, like Sir said, we have lots of enemies inside us. Desire, anger, greed, delusion, glorified jealousy, and enemies. That is because why is that? That enemies, what happens when the first thought arises? That is the seed that you sow for the enemies. When you nourish the thought, naturally that enemies start growing up. So when you use your free will and stop your second thought, naturally your inner enemies will be destroyed and you will not allow them to grow. Now, when you visit a sea, you have nice, lovely ripples of waves. You will enjoy the sea, and the calmness will change all your energies around you, and you will feel calm. But when it starts having slowly waves build up and ends up in tidal wave, what will happen? It will swallow everything around it. That's how our thoughts are. When the thoughts are very calm and ripple, you'll have a very calm situation around you. But when you allow it to go into a tidal wave, what happens? It will not only swallow you, it will swallow everyone around you. So what you have to do, use your discrimination and just think, are these thoughts worthy of nourishment, and nip it in the bud.
So very important words again. Why do we get angry? Why do we get greedy? All because we are been having this likes and dislikes. When we are having likes, we will have dislikes. When we are having dislikes, then we will have a differentiation of things. We will differentiate between a good friend and a bad friend. A good food, tasty food, and not so tasty food. So you can differentiate things, but do not discriminate things, isn't it? You can discriminate, that means you know the differences, but you know that, okay, this is also important. Sometimes medicine, if you take, most of the medicines are bitter, but you know that it is going to actually help you. So same way, likes and dislikes are basically always together. They lead to the different kinds of emotions in us, and emotions comes in a form of small thought, which we have kept it for a long time. You have to if you start nurturing a bad thought, it will grow into a big tree of so many different thoughts. That's why nip in the bud. Nip in the bud stage. We all know that I'm getting angry, means the person is getting angry. If you can control that fire, the small spark, very good. But whatever way, trying to say, there are different ways, like taking 3 times a deep breath, but that also we will forget, or we can't. Then the second is say Om Namah Shivaya. I have started doing it because I have colleagues who get me angry, who make a lot of things which I don't like. So I say Om Namah Shivaya, and I've told them when I'm saying Om Namah Shivaya, I'm angry. So again, I have pointed out my mistake. So what I'm saying, you find your way. You find your way how to like the not so liking thing, how to like the dislikes. This is all training. Change your prakriti. So first you know yourself. Then if the doctor also can treat someone when he knows the diagnosis of the person. And after knowing the diagnosis, the doctor is writing a prescription. That prescription, if is thrown dustbin, then it is of no use. So this entire Shastra is like a prescription. It's a prescription for all of us. And first we find what is the diagnosis. Can anyone say what is the diagnosis of our life? We have studied in the first chapter, second chapter, and again we are seeing in this verse. Samsara. Samsara. Sir, they will stop the quiz. That's why I'm worried. So samsara is our diagnosis. We have a samsara. Samsara means raga, shoka, moha. Raga means strong attachments in our daily life. Something is strongly attached to you. Once that is gone, what happens? Intense grief. So in this two, if it is there, we are always juggling between this. We'll have delusion, moha. In this triangle of samsara, we will be always caught and we will be making more mistakes, and then we will have likes and dislikes. So raga dvesha or raga shoka moha is our basic diagnosis. Treatment is given multiple times, first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, and I know fourth chapter will come, fifth will come, but as I said, first two chapters which we have done very thoroughly, over. All Brahma Jnana, Brahma Vidya, you should become Jnani. But that's why questions of Arjuna's are always answered. You see, fourth chapter also will start with question of Arjuna. Fifth will chapter starts with questions of Arjuna. Sixth, seventh, I think he doesn't ask. Eighth also he asks. Ninth, 10th, he doesn't ask. God himself tells about bhakti. So many questions are asked on our behalf. So let us understand that likes and dislikes can be there. How to convert our dislikes into likes.
What is your experience that so many people are reading Bhagavad Gita, so many students you know?
Yes, sir.
How much percentage has gone from your garden here?
Sir, lot. Here only I can see so many. The change I am seeing. First, the change I should see myself, and I'm sure it is in the right direction. Because today, what I see is the anger level, FIR, the frequency was very high. For me, very, very high. I'll get very high angry and immediately I will forget. But that intensity also was very too loud. I'll say directly. So it's coming down. For me, I can say. For others, I can see that. But we should never say about others. It is FIR for me. And my children, the other class, Bhagavad Gita, fantastic, sir. As one example, I'll say one child, she was a class monitor. Then we were doing bhakti yoga. Then suddenly she said, I want to share something. She said, I was a monitor and I wanted to mind her, tell her rightly. She shouted at me. Then, but I didn't shout at her, and I suddenly thought she is the form of Krishna only. She's telling me. So a small child started thinking this way is because of reading this Bhagavad Gita. He says you should start seeing Krishna even in the anger of someone else, which is really difficult for us. But many children are also doing that.
I want to say something. உங்களோட வேர்ஸை கம்பேர் பண்ணி நான் சொல்றேன். நீங்க அவரை கேட்டீங்கல்ல, உங்களோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்ல நீங்க யார பாக்குறீங்க என்னன்னு அவரை கேட்டீங்க.
இங்க நம்மளே வரோம்.
Okay.
இதுல யாரு வேகமா போயிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
That's thing I want to say something. உங்களோட வேர்ஸை பேஸ் பண்ணி இப்போ நம்ம வந்து right now all the female are out with work, driving, எல்லாமே செய்றாங்க. When I started, it was 40 years back. I was the only person driving. என் கூட டாக்டர் மைத்திலின்னு ஒருத்தர் இங்க ஓட்டிட்டு இருந்தாங்க கார் டிரைவ். I started driving in the age of 15. It was not against the rule தான். But அப்ப நான் ஆரம்பிச்சேன். எனக்கு ரொம்ப டிரைவிங் பிடிக்கும் இன்னைக்கு வரையிலும். அப்போ நான் ஓட்டும் போது எல்லாரும் சொல்லுவாங்க, என்ன ஆம்பளை மாதிரி கார் எல்லாம் ஓட்டிட்டு இருந்தா யாருக்கும் அடங்க மாட்டேங்கிறா. இல்ல இந்த வார்த்தை எனக்கும் தோணுச்சு. நிறைய பேர் சொன்னாங்க. இப்படி சொல்லும் போது I had a feeling எனக்கு more of male nature இருக்கோ அப்படின்னு. Don't laugh, no? Then I thought, I have given birth to 2 kids, so I'm a female. I'm confirmed with that. Okay, இதெல்லாம் எனக்குள்ள தோணுச்சு. When I got married, my mother-in-law used to say, இப்போல அடங்கவே மாட்டா, பயங்கரமானாவா. அப்போ எனக்கு உள்ளுக்குள்ளார ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கும். இன்னும் எல்லாரும் இப்படி சொல்றாங்க, நான் ஏன் இப்படி இருக்கேன்னா என்னை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணி பார்த்தா கூட என்னால கண்ட்ரோலே ஆக முடியாது. ஐ எம் வெரி வெரி இண்டிவிஜுவல். இப்ப எனக்கு கிளாஸ்க்கு யாரும் போகாதுன்னு சொன்னா கேட்க மாட்டேன். எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கு, நான் வருவேன். வையா யூ பாதர்ட் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஸ்டைல். இந்த வேர்ஸை நான் லாஸ்ட் வீக்கே படிச்சுட்டு நீங்க சொன்ன வேர்ஸை அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னும் கான்பிடென்ட், ஓவர் கான்பிடென்ட். நான் ரைட், இது ஏன் குணா, நான் ஏன் மாறணும், நான் கரெக்டா தான் போறேன், என்னை கரெக்டா தான். ஸோ இனிமேல் யாராவது என்னை சொன்னாங்கன்னா எனக்கு டவுட்டே கிடையாது. பிகாஸ் திஸ் இஸ் மை குணா, நோபடி கேன் சேஞ்ச். இவ்வளவு நாள் இந்த டவுட்டும் இந்த இது படிச்சனால எனக்கு கிளியர் ஆகும்போது இது மாதிரி நிறைய பேர் கிளியர் ஆவாங்க. இந்த படிச்சதுனால எனக்கு கான்பிடன்ஸ் வருது இல்ல, நான் எதுவும் தப்பா பண்ணல. கத்துறது நான் ரைட்டு. சோ நான் எனக்கு சொல்லும் போது உங்களுக்கு டவுட்டா இருக்கிறதுனால நீங்க அதை சாஃப்டா எடுத்துக்கிறீங்க. நான் ரைட்டா இருக்கிறதுனால நான் எனக்கு கான்பிடென்டா இருக்கனாலதான் என் வாய்ஸ் ரேஸே ஆகுது. If I am not confident in something, I cannot talk about it. But people think, இப்ப நீங்க பேசும்போது நான் சொல்லல, எனக்கு கம்பு இருக்கலைன்னா நான் கட்டிட்டு இருக்கேன் நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்க. நான் தெளிவா இருக்கனாலதான் நான் சத்தமா பேசுறேன். தெளிவு இல்லாதவனால சத்தமா பேச முடியும். இது லாஸ்ட் வீக் சொன்னீங்கன்னா நான் வாய மூடிட்டு போயிருப்பேன். இந்த வாரம் நான் தெளிவா இருக்கேன். Thank you.
Good, nice experience. This is very nice.
I wanted to know how many percent what do you feel? How much of percentage do you think they have become? Jnani is like going to the margam of Jnani.
எல்லாருமே ஒரு நோக்கிதான் சார் போயிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Who
has taken science and who are taking basic what is
the teachers should know who are the top 10. Cannot be changed.
Teacher will know the student. Teacher knows who are there. You cannot predict that.
Master teacher will know.
நீங்க இவங்க கேட்கவே வேண்டாம், மேல இருக்கவங்களுக்கு தெரியும்.
Swamiji has clearly mentioned this Vedanta, this understanding is not to understand who has learned or not. It is only for you. You can only change yourself in this entire life. You can't change your own sweetest child. Your own blood relations you can't change. Forget about asking how much someone has understood. Yeah, it's good to know that our own people, we started 1 year back and we are doing good. I can see that. There is no doubt in that. But how much first, second, third, I can't. Because I myself have to change and I am a student.
Able to see the changes.
Yes, this is definitely. Everyone is coming 15 minutes before the class. Okay, I think it's 7:45. We'll stop here with this work.
Madam, I feel it's only to just improve the quality of our life, not materialistic.
So each one of us, we know where we are, in which stage we are, sir.
Yeah,
Because
behind.
by seeing others, we cannot.
We are not far behind.
No, sir, not right.
No effort, she's doing so much of work.
Sir, no, sir, everyone are doing, we all are putting in the effort and we are.
We will just conclude and then we'll discuss. This is important topic. We'll give time for this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.